Right. So I always talk about like new shirts, I guess, that I'm wearing. So this is Vault. It's a brand out of Minneapolis, and I went to a recent pop-up shop. They're super dope. Definitely would check them out. Great material. Love it. So within the past couple months, one of the most popular filters that came out has been the Everyday filter. That was a collaboration with Garrett King, aka Shortstache and Polar Pro. Now, Shortstache, in my opinion, is one of the best creators when it comes down to getting some of the most creamiest tones out there. And if you don't follow him, I definitely would check him out if you want to get into a deep depression of creative comparison. But in all seriousness, he's a big inspiration for me as a creator to, you know, achieve and nail down like perfect colors within my own videos, even though he does like a lot of photo stuff. And Polar Pro, on the other hand, is probably one of my favorite companies out there that's making amazing products and filters. So the Shortstache Everyday filter basically is a circular polarizer, a CPL filter, and a mist filter. So a CPL filter on its own really helps you, you know, reduce reflections out of your photos and videos. And it also helps you manage your color saturation. While a mist filter kind of gives the effect of like blooming out the highlights and giving a very mist feel and look to your photos and videos. The mist filter is an effect that really diffuses a lot of the light out there and gives it that bloom, and can also soften up the skins. Both of these filters on their own are very popular with photographers and videographers. And so having these two being combined into one, it was something that a lot of people were looking forward to. Now, when looking at reviews about this filter on YouTube and anywhere else, a lot of this was more on the photography side of it, because it was mainly pushed for photographers. Yes, it could have used for videographers as well, but there was not as much on the video side of it than there was on the photo side. Me being mainly a video shooter, I decided to kind of just test it out for myself and give my own opinions and perspectives on it from a filmmaker's side. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there too, that in no way, shape, or form am I a professional in the development or science behind these things. These are just kind of my own personal experiences and opinions on these filters themselves. So I'm basically here just to talk about my own personal experiences with these and how the footage looks from my own experiences. Hello there. I am here to tell you to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would mean a lot to me, and it really does help me. I will create more content like this, and I really hope you guys would come along for the ride with this. So again, like and subscribe, baby. Back to the video. So going in chronological order, we're just gonna go straight into the mist filter right away. Now with the mist filter, you get the benefit of both the CPL filter and really more elevated mist diffusion into it. This helps you get more of the highlighted diffusion look and the softer tones with it. One thing I also noticed is that the filter also gives more of the green tones, just like the ads say, and you can either lean into it if you want to, or you can diverge from it as well. It really works both ways with it. Now the mist filter was, in my opinion, very, very misty. It was a lot more than I would have expected and a lot more than I personally like for my own images. But you know, other people might actually, you know, prefer it, or honestly might say it's not even enough. But for me, it was just a little bit too much for my own liking. But does that make it a bad filter? Not necessarily, not at all, actually. But just from my own experiences with it, it's just a little too much for my liking. But aside from that, it does give it a very big highlighted dreamy look to it. I did do a golden hour kind of run and gun with the mist side of it, and honestly it goes so hard. The look that it gives during golden hour is so pleasantly pleasing to look at, and honestly I think it really shines in golden hour. One thing I did notice is that when there is little light, the image can suffer a little bit. I would recommend adjusting your settings when you are in lower light situations using this filter, but again, it's just a lot of compensating. Overall, this was probably one of my least favorite filters out of the two. I mean, again, it's not a bad filter, it's just a little too much for me in my liking, look and style wise. Again, some people might like it more, some people might like it less, but it's realistically a stylized choice. Now let's go with the normal everyday filter. This version is by far the best out of the two in my own opinion. It is the most versatile and most clean looking one, and is honestly the one I'm shooting on with right now. The soft look side it gives is super satisfying, and especially when it's graded, it's just chef's kiss. And the green tint is super subtle, and it's again something that you can play with, you can lean into, or you can diverge from. The softening of the highlights honestly are probably some of the best that I've seen out there on the market for filter wise, and I think Shortstache and Polar Pro completely knocked it out of the park for this one. And honestly, I think it rivals one of my favorite ones, which is the Moment Cinebloom 10% one. And also grading this is so fun to grade. It gives you so many color tones to, like, you know, mess around and play with, especially when you're grading with 10-bit log. And overall, the super clean look on it is just amazing. I think the name Everyday Filter for this one honestly lives up to its name. It's something that you can realistically just keep onto your camera and just not take off, because the tones that you get out of it are so good that it's almost like you don't need anything else on it. It can benefit you in all different situations and give you so many different style looks to it. On the CPL side of this, I actually used this in a client shoot of mine. I was actually, you know, using it to get rid of some of the reflections on the TV and some areas of the kitchen of the home that we were shooting in. But when it came down to the CPL side of things, that was the main situation that I kind of used it to that benefit. So I'll probably have to use it a little bit more in certain situations or client work to actually really play around with it a lot more. So that's basically it. My thoughts on this are basically that I think that everyone should at least give these a try. Again, I'm not a professional in development with these things and a scientist with it. I'm just a normal consumer like yourself, just testing out my experiences with it and just kind of giving you my thoughts and opinions on it as someone who has a hands-on experience with these filters. I think the mist filter in itself is definitely one that is less to my liking, but I think that someone who likes that look definitely should lean into that look and get it. And I think the normal everyday filter is something that I personally like a lot more. I like a lot more cleaner look, and I think that, you know, a lot of people would probably prefer that one because it's something that you can truly use every day in almost any situation. But in no way, shape, or form do these things actually take away from like the actual image quality that you're getting out of these things. Both serve its own purposes and both are completely amazing in their own ways. I think if you're either a professional or just a casual videographer or photographer, realistically, both of these are just tools for you to use. And honestly, I think that they would benefit you in almost everyday situations. I see what I did there. But I mean, yeah, that's basically the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my thoughts and experience on this. I feel like I didn't do as well as, you know, most other people have done, but I mean, I tried. So again, like and subscribe really helps. And thank you for watching.